Maybe because I hearken back to the '05 and '06 games,
Yes.
and I was such a big fan. I mean, there's something to I was just talking about this on the Ohio State show, so I'm gonna kind of echo what I said there to you right now, which is, I don't know, I love the atmosphere at the shoe in the evening. I think it's awesome. And that '05 Texas Ohio State game had like a magic to it. It did. I'm just saying. And I thought the setting was great
I
in the
agree.
evening. You had a really good night for football. Uh, you know, Musburger had his fastball still. So did Danielson before he got terrible at announcing football.
Yep.
And but that was 20 years ago. So I mean, I don't know, Mark. I just think there is something to an evening game. I know you're not a big Gus Johnson fan, and you're not trying to carry his water, but I don't know, Mark. Fowler, Herbie at night in the shoe. Why is that not appealing? Or why does that not matter to you?
It would not be those two.
Okay.
It's a Fox game.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, so ABC could, because of the SEC thing, could not do that then, right? Well, the SEC though still has ABC still has the SEC though.
Okay. So the designation for non-conference games goes to the home team and the home team's network.
Okay, that's right. Okay, got it.
So that's how that's determined. Okay. The only thing I was saying in all of
Sure.
that, and I knew there would be people that would misconstrue it, and I get it because it sounds rather stark, is that I'm not saying that people should not have an opinion. And if you want a night game for Ohio State, Texas, I totally get it. I understand.
Well,
That's
I
what
just
you
want to
prefer.
stipulate. I
I'm
want to,
just, and I'm
Mark.
not saying you specifically. I'm
No,
saying,
I just have a difference of opinion, Mark. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
no, I am simply saying that I don't understand, nor do I agree with people who say that objectively night games are better than day games. No, in your opinion, based on your preference,
All right.
I also push back until proven otherwise, and nobody's going to prove it because nobody does the legwork to do this. You cannot prove that really any team is more successful playing night games at home than day games.
Right.
Everybody assumes that, or a lot of people assume that, but it's not been proven. Somebody put the number 17-6 for Ohio State at night since 2012. I said 17-6 for Ohio State is not a good record.
Yeah, but I think that there is, yeah, and I said this on the Ohio State podcast. Urban used to like it for recruiting purposes. He had thought that that was like an atmosphere that would really draw recruits to Ohio State because of the atmosphere, at night, big game, and that would be a really good recruiting tool. Um, I I don't know, Mark. I just think that, and maybe I'm off here, and maybe I'm being nostalgic a little bit here too, Mark. But I just think an evening atmosphere suits a really big time college football game. And I'm not saying we're both old school, Mark. We remember when these games were at noon or were at 3:30, and I would never change the game at noon. But maybe because it's a non-conference game, I'm more apt to say an evening atmosphere suits it better too.
Again, that's your opinion, and
Yeah,
I respect your
yeah,
opinion. I don't feel that way.
okay,
I don't care when the game's played. They can play at 8 in the morning. Well, that's a
okay,
little early for me.
right,
But
right.
maybe at 9, 10 in the morning, it makes no difference to me. They can play at midnight. It
Hmm.
makes no difference to me. I don't care when these games are played. I really don't. And based on the Fox contract, we should all be used to this at this point. They've had this contract since 2017. That means that this is going to be the ninth year
Hmm.
that Fox has had Big Ten football,
Yep.
and they put all the best games at noon.
Right, right. Because Team Up North played Texas at noon last year. Right.
Now, I will say one thing that has made it a bit different this now only being the second year, so we've only lived under 1 year of Fox having exclusive Big Ten rights.
Mhm.
So you would every other year see an Ohio State Penn State game on ABC and Michigan and Penn State on ABC,
Mhm.
and therefore it would be a night game or a 3:30 game. So now we are getting the full throttle onslaught of Fox moving everything of value to the noon time slot.
Right. Dude, I always thought there was something, and I'm not going to carry the SEC's water, but I think that ESPN's had something cooking, and this was before ESPN became indebted to the SEC. I'm talking '90s, early 2000s, when ESPN had Franklin and Godfrey doing those
Oh yeah.
evening SEC games on ESPN. I don't know, there was like a magic to that atmosphere, wasn't there, Mark?
Oh,
I mean, you were
absolutely. I
there, so
loved
you
those.
would know.
Yes. Oh, I loved those Franklin and Gottfried games, LSU and Georgia and
Yes.
Florida, Tennessee, and whomever else. Absolutely. Those were great. And then those were usually I may be forgetting my pecking order, but probably the second best SEC game of the day, because the best one
Yeah.
would be Jim Nance. At that point, it was Jim Nance calling the games with like Todd Blackledge
Well, that was
on
before Vern
CBS.
took over? Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
before Vern took over,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark. I mean, you've worked in this market, so you know it better than I do, on like what's sellable to the public as far as time slots and as far as that goes. And I'm not if they do it at noon, they do it at noon. So be it. I mean, it's just a thought, maybe a preference that I have for certain non-conference games. I think there's something to it, about it being at night.
Well,
Just a
there,
preference.
there's also an argument to take your side on things that maybe Fox's approach has become not necessarily outdated, but that they have caught up with ESPN and ABC.
Hmm.
They were playing from behind 9 years ago. So
Right.
their
Good
perspective
point.
was they own ABC and ESPN own primetime football. We do not want to compete with that. We're not going to be competing with the Alabama LSU games of every week, and Alabama and Tennessee, and fill in the teams from the top half of the SEC that Fox would compete with. So they made the logical choice. Okay, we're going to fall in line with Ohio State, Michigan,
Hmm.
and make this. We're going to own, and 8 or 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a Big Ten matchup. The other one or two is going to be a Big 12 matchup, and we're going to. And of course, they had Oklahoma and Texas at the time, but we're going to swing, and instead of trying to bang heads by throwing Ohio State, Penn State at Alabama, LSU, we're going to throw it at noon, and we're going to make this a big deal.
Right.
I mean, that's when Fox wasn't considered. Well, of course, they were a major player in the game, but they were significantly behind ABC, ESPN at the time. But now they're considered equals, and maybe they could throw those kind of games at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there's certain rivalry games though that do fit the noon time slot. I mean, obviously, I would still say the game. I think Texas Oklahoma fits well in the noon time slot too.
Yeah,
By the way.
they usually play at that time, and
Yeah.
consider that's an 11 a.m.
Right.
local time game. But they do play 3:30 at times, so they're not begrudging to that noon. Ohio State, Michigan, that's it.
Yeah. With the exception of 1 year.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, and that's been 19 years ago now,
Right.
unbelievably.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else, shoot, Florida and Florida State, they play all over the map on any network, and it is amazing. And this is another confirmation of how immense this rivalry is compared to all the other ones.
Right.
throw out any game at me, anybody in the chat, throw out any rivalry, and I will tell you that the game's been played at noon, at 3:30, at 7:30. It's been played on Friday. It's been played on CBS. It's been played on ESPN. It's been Alabama Auburn's been played on ESPN. It's been played on ABC. It's been on CBS. It's been in every time slot, gets thrown all over the place.
Right.
Um, and with the down years that the combination of Florida and Florida State have had, shoot, they've thrown them on Friday night. They've thrown them here and
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Not Ohio State and Michigan.
No. I
Nope.
mean, I mean, you've seen it from a television rating standpoint, though, Mark. I mean, every
Oh,
year. I mean, you know where the game
amazing.
ranks.